So last year, we did some coverage on the THQ Nordic Showcase in a Newswave, and as I was going through the games, there was one in particular that some people in the comments pointed out and said, oh, that's really cool that's happening. It's a game that I remember from like 1999, and I thought, wow, that's like that was 25 years ago, but it was one of the first big open world games that people remember, and that's called Outcast. Well, the people at THQ Nordic did reach out to me and asked if they could sponsor a video and send over a code so I can just kind of check out this game called Outcast: A New Beginning. And I thought, you know what? It's a single-player, offline adventure game. We're getting more and more of these live service titles. Why not check out something like this and just see what it is exactly? So I figured I would just kind of jump into it here and take a look. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. I decided to jump about 45 minutes into the game because as I was going through the opening 45 minutes or so, I realized it was a tutorial. Eventually you even get an achievement that unlocks that says you completed the tutorial. So I figured that right there was a good time to start recording and going off on adventure here in Outcast. Now this is Cutter Slade, who is in this alien world. It's been enslaved, and he has to set off and try to basically save this world. So pretty straightforward there, but it does seem like they're pulling a lot of stuff together that for me is kind of hard to pronounce, but it does have a very unique feel and look to it for the world itself. Very imaginative, but the Cutter Slade is it's a great name. Now, the other part about this that I noticed is if you're someone who even remembers the older Outcast game from '99, some of the veterans are actually working on this one as well, so somehow they managed to pull that off. We do have a skill tree as they're showing here. Oh, it's upgrading the battery. So this is going to upgrade the battery in my jetpack, which I'll show you real quick. So we have a jetpack here. These are things that we kind of got as we went through the tutorial. It's like, here's this thing, now you can do this. And the jetpack, as you can see, just kind of lets us launch up in the air. But now, because I got that extra charge, I can do a double jump. Or I guess I can just kind of dash more in place after I knock down that first bar. Yeah. So the jetpack essentially works to get you to higher areas or just sort of dodge out of the way. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Again, open world, action style game. So we have, of course, all kinds of fun things on the map we can go do, as well as just the main story. But let's try doing a side activity here. We'll go do this guy. We'll track it. This is, as you can see, kind of like it's like a third-person shooting action style game. You can see, but you also have a shield. We have melee combat where we can swing around. So we do have different modes of combat. And also looking at the skill tree, it does seem like there's going to be more bits and pieces added into the mix as I go. Oh, and I got a new power from clearing that activity. So I guess you do get legitimately impactful things as you go through. Again, this is like the first one I've done setting out into the world. Clear the Gork Eruption, grant you the melee power. Press L and R when the gauge is full to freeze all enemies around you for a moment. Also, this is like just part of the map that I'm running around in now. I zoomed out, and it looks like we have quite a bit more you can look around, and we also have these different villages that you visit that will work to progress the story and introduce you to more characters. I am noticing that the area that I'm just kind of traversing right now, running around, does feel genuinely dense. Like, it seems like they kind of dress this up quite a bit. You see different tree branches going around, foliage kind of all over the place, but it does feel fairly distinct. Like, there just seems to be a lot going on here, and while we do have kind of these set paths, it's pretty interesting to at least look at. Let's take a look at that skill tree again real quick. Jet sprint. Press left bumper and right bumper to swiftly guide above the ground. It's like a glider. Air dodge. Jet sprint. So we have basically one skill tree right now set up just for the jetpack. Oh, there is just gliding. And then it looks like we have one set up here for just our combat, whether it's increasing melee damage, reinforcing the shield. There's like a charge tech in there too. Tackle. It's like you just slide tackle them completely. For the record, to other developers out there, I am not at all opposed to you just giving us the double jump early on, like right away. I don't think anyone needs to wait almost the entire game to get a double jump, so just throwing that out there. All right, we have to follow this trail that they set out for us. This kind of like this little indicator here, this wind indicator. jump off here. I think we're just trying to collect these. Oh, good. So they have like a little indicator for where you land, it looks like, which is great because that is one of the most annoying things is when you don't really know where you're going to actually land on the ground. Use your melee attack to the chest. All right, I got it. That one is a little tougher because you have to wait for your battery to recharge on your jump jet, so you have to kind of play it out correctly and time it right, but I got it. You'll come across a bunch of these kind of villages and camps. This, I think, is just like a smaller camp that's right next to that temple that I'm going to, but you'll come across characters like these where you can talk to them and sort of progress and enhance the story, find out more information, add it to your glossary, and it kind of has that setup where you have the branching conversational paths where you'll pick different things, and then it'll go to another one, and it at least gives you some choice and decision based on what exactly you want to do to approach some of these things.
Figure it out. Eventually. Slay it out.
Plus, I don't think there's any fall damage. Well, we'll find out in a second. No. All right, good. So you can actually get up pretty far. There's quite a bit of verticality. You sort of climb up the trees there. They have like those blue pads that we used for the trial. That'll just kind of launch you all the way up in the air on top of those branches, and I feel like getting around a bit easier. Let's see what we can figure out here. Interact. Okay, this tree trunk is quite small. All right, here we go. Oh, there's a time limit too. Look at that. Oh, there we go. I think I'm inside. All right, I'm inside. Look at that.
I did it.
Did it? Looks like I unlocked the ancient mods. Okay. But not back I've actually been doing quite a few achievements too. I mean, if they're all going to increase your health, I should probably try to find a bunch of those. So we still have a lot of side activities up here. Whether it's we can reach the end of the trail. Well, let's see if we can get this base right here, EMA 0. And the other thing I've noticed in this game, and I mean many games this generation really so far, is like there's no real load screens. So there's a load screen when you first turn the game on and go into the world, and it's like a couple of seconds. But for the most part, the world is just loaded in and you just kind of run around in it. You don't hit any areas where it's like, okay, we got to load the next part. No, it's pretty much seamless, which is really cool, at least from what I've seen so far in the area that I'm running around in, this part of the world. And that, again, is, I think, more so the fact that we now have just SSDs in general in these systems. We also have more of these humanoid enemies that we're fighting now in the bases, and also, like, these robots up here. So a bit of a contrast from what we were dealing with out in the wilderness. I need to find some terminals. Okay, I got nano cells. Right bumper to open. Can unlock one module slot. Let's see. We'll unlock this one. Okay, cool. So I can now add different things to it. There you go. Now I can add concussive shot. And that just ends up stacking on top of it. So I'm going to have like the longest pistol ever when I add that. And then I have the concussive shot. Then I have 2 more slots to open. They should probably start putting some stuff on the back to kind of balance it out. Anyway, I think we have our first terminal here. So just got to press and hold that down. Get 1 out of 3. All right, good. Just got to find 2 more. We also have a shield here, so we can kind of block these shots as they go, and then get in close and smack them with it. All right, we got our last terminal. Let's unlock that. 3 of 3. And, oh, okay, yeah, I know where that is. We were just in there. Oh, that chest I saw earlier is unlocked. So what do we get here? Oh, just nano cells. Oh, all right, good. A macro cell. We'll find out what that does later. The nano cell will let us upgrade our skill tree a bit more for like our combat abilities. Let's see if I can shoot this thing with the blow up. Oh, I get one more chest up here. So this is more nano cells. Let's see what we get. Oh, we get a modification. Increase damage gradually when the weapon is close to overheating. I also noticed that there are a lot of times where these calls will come in, and what they'll end up doing is starting basically a quest line and a storyline, and then mark something on your map. So they at least try to make it more dynamic than dropping them all on your map all at once. This is definitely a game, though, where if you really enjoy those kind of open world style games that just drop a lot of stuff on your map over time, and you go around, explore, and complete these tasks, and pretty much just level up and gain abilities as you go. I mean, this is based on like one of the original games that did that. This is such a shift in sort of the environments. Over here, everything's kind of like dead and rocky and gross, but then you turn a little to your left here and it's like sprawling wildlife and trees and nice grass. You can just see the difference and change here as you move over. So that would be just kind of like a base, or I guess just a plant. And you can just see how I guess the effect that they have it set for their world, as they're trying to essentially showcase what exactly is happening with this invasion and this planet being enslaved, with sort of hogging the resources from it. So I think that's kind of an interesting way to sort of work it into the environments. But I think that's where we're going to leave it for now. That is Outcast: A New Beginning. It is out now on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, PC, and there is a full demo that is available across the board for all platforms. So if you're at all interested in it, it's worth downloading it and seeing what you think from there. But once again, shout out to THQ Nordic for sending over a code, and let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.